His imposing bay frame thundering around Tatnam Corner and up the Epsom Strait. He's cruising. The jockey in yellow and purple silks is calm, almost motionless. Those around him are a flurry of anxiety and exhaustion, but he is at ease. He knows he'll win this race. Something epic is underway. This, and the welling surge of emotion and delight it brings, is what the sport of horse racing is all about. An overwhelming thrill, felt simultaneously by millions. For more than 2 centuries, the Derby has been the defining test of a thoroughbred. And in 2009, it was captured by a horse regarded as a paragon. 300 years of ambitious, impassioned honing of the thoroughbred breed has reached its apotheosis, its shining example. See the stars. See the stars, the handsomest of beau ideals. Born for greatness, winning with his ears pricked. Imperious, yet also generous, with a charming head and beguiling presence. And that gorgeous power, the perfect balance of beauty and beast. See the stars. He could do what few horses have ever done before. He won the big races, the famous races, the greatest races. He won time and time again with breathtaking ease. In the end, people travelled far and wide, not just to see him run, but to see him win. Could he be the best racehorse ever? See the Stars' race to glory begins long before the starting stalls break open. Horse racing requires something greater than patience. It demands endurance. The quickening anticipation and the sense of longing starts years before the nervous handshakes in the parade ring. It begins with the story of how See the Stars' dam, Urban Sea, captivated the imagination of her owners, the Choi family. In August 1990, Chantilly trainer Jean Lesbord purchased a chestnut filly at France's Deauville August sale for 280,000 French francs. From that day forward, this trainer's life would be forever entwined with the story of this great filly, Urban Sea, and her foals. Such devotion, excitement and fulfillment she has inspired over the last 2 decades. Urban Sea broke her maiden in Paris in 1991 and continued to flourish in her 3-year-old classic season, where the Choi family witnessed a thrilling 3rd place in the German 1000 guineas. Triumphs in group races.
Et Urban Sea qui sont à la lutte également aux prises avec Lucky Lundy. Urban Sea qui l'emporte vers 22e.
And then there was Paris. October 1993, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Testing ground and a packed field of 23. Europe's end-of-term showpiece. A grueling test, perfect for this gutsy filly, who at odds of 37-1 had never shirked a tussle. Her battling qualities and determination to succeed saw Urban Sea get to the front and stay there.
Urban Sea qui vient fort côté corde et que maintenant l'avantage. White Muzzle qui du dernier rang se rapproche très fort également à son tour. Incredibility qui vient fort en dehors, alors que c'est l'Urban Sea qui est côté corde qui va emporter cet arc de triomphe. Urban Sea qui l'emporte devant White Muzzle.
The Chois got so much pleasure from their filly that they would visit her in Chantilly at the weekends. And it wasn't long before young Christopher was hoisted aboard one of Jean Lesbord's quieter conveyances and taught to ride. His passion for horses ignited, and a childhood that played out in the winner's enclosure.
I grew up around horses and racing, so it's always been part of my life. I loved riding. I really loved it. I went every week. It was great.
Breed the best to the best and hope for the best. It's as good a guiding principle as any. In Urban Sea's case, however, it deserves to be rewritten. Breed the best to the best and get the best. When Urban Sea was later retired to stud, it was her battling qualities and determination to succeed that she would later bequeath to most of her foals. A mating with fellow Arc winner Lamtara would see her produce his best ever foal, the Oaks-placed filly Malika. To her first tryst with the best stallion of the modern era, Sadler's Wells, she threw the colt many regarded as his best son, Galileo. Himself a Derby winner and sire of lasting merit, with a Derby-winning son of his own to shout about. Her next foal was the dual Group 1 winner Black Sam Bellamy, and since then Urban Sea has produced the Oaks runner-up All Too Beautiful, also by Sadler's Wells. By the spring of 2005, at the age of 16, Urban Sea was thoroughly established as one of the most significant broodmares of all time.
I was in Epsom to watch the Oaks in 2004. So I told my mother, I saw this filly who was unbelievable, this Rouge-Board. And so she looked into her pedigree and she said, well, maybe we should go to Cape Cross and get our own Rouge-Board.
It was at this point that Ling Choi made an inspired decision which altered the story of their lives forever. Urban Sea was to visit a young stallion who had sired the impressive Oaks winner Ouija-Board, the filly who had denied All Too Beautiful a classic victory. Ling Choi decided upon Cape Cross. Himself a record-breaking Group 1 winner, Cape Cross had already sired one household name. But no one could have foreseen that a mating with Urban Sea would produce one of the finest and fastest thoroughbreds there has ever been. In the small hours of the 6th of April 2006, at the Irish National Stud, See the Stars was foaled. The stud, located in Tully, County Kildare, was established in 1946 by the Irish government and is home to unique Japanese gardens that symbolise the meeting of Eastern and Western cultures. How logical it was for the Choi family to have chosen such appropriate lodgings for Urban Sea's aspiring colt. The lush Kildare pasture nurtured his growth into a strapping bright bay colt with the broad forehead of his father and a temperament rarely seen in an animal so highly bred. That temperament was put to the test as a yearling when he was first ridden at the specialist pre-training stable of Gary Witherford. A process that takes most racehorses days took See the Stars just 15 minutes.
From start to finish, he was just so easy going, so laid back. I really thought, what a lovely horse.
Whatever myself asked him to do or my father asked him to do, you know, he was almost outthinking us. He was doing it before we even asked him, almost, you know. He was like, yeah, okay, I've learnt that, you know, let's go on to the next thing. You know, he was very, you know, quick learner and wanted to please, you know, everyone who was around him.
From here, he went to the racing yard of John Ox, one of the most renowned trainers in Europe. Famed for his cool horsemanship and modest ambitions, Ox qualified as a vet before taking over his father's Currabeg stables at the Curragh in Ireland. John Ox has guided many talented racehorses to triumphant victory, including Breeders' Cup heroine Ridgewood Pearl and the outstanding Sindar, who won both the Derby and the Arc. Ox has a rational, calming presence of quiet certainty. Just the man to extract the finest qualities from this astonishing breed of horse. Even in a big stable of well-bred wannabes, the adolescent See the Stars soon shone. He had all the obvious qualities: the athletic build, deep shoulder and balanced profile, a liquid gait and princely pedigree. But he had something else too. He had star quality.
White flag is raised from there on.
See the Stars made his debut in a 7-furlong race on Irish Oaks Day, on the windswept expanses of the Curragh in mid-July. The previous year's winner of the race was New Approach, the Galileo colt, who went on to win the Derby. The year before him, another son of Galileo, the mighty, undefeated Teofilio, started his career in this very race. In human terms, both are nephews of See the Stars. Yet the best horse ever to compete in this race never made it to the winner's enclosure. See the Stars was fourth.
He wouldn't have got beat if I'd have got the run on the rails. A run closed in front of me going to the furlong marker. If he'd have got it, he'd have won.
Things were very different a month later. Favourite in the Leopardstown Mud, he won easily, earning a slender 12-to-1 quote for the 2009 Derby.
But up towards the finish, See the Stars is going to win it readily in the end by about 3 lengths.
Welcome back in, a very impressive winner of our first race of the day. The regally bred John Ox train, number 10, See the Stars, out of the Arc-winning mare Urban Sea, and a half-brother to the great Galileo.
A step up in class and distance saw See the Stars run in the Group 2 Beresford Stakes some 6 weeks later. A race Ox had won with 2 of his earlier champions, Azamore and Alamshah.
Inside the last 100 yards now, Murray impressed by See the Stars on the outside, master of the horse between them recharge. It is See the Stars now who's just the leader as they go towards the line. See the Stars wins it for Michael Cannan.
Put your hands together for what could turn out to be the next Group 1 superstar of Currabeg. See the Stars, the winner of the Juddmonte Beresford Stakes.
After the Beresford Stakes, we were having a glass of champagne afterwards, and Katrina told Monica, my wife, that she had never seen John as nervous before a race since Sindar won the Arc. So at that stage I knew he was a very good horse.
It became clear to his trainer that he was a horse that required special attention.
He used to like the ring with the other horses. When he was out with the other horses in the normal ring, he'd jump around a bit. He just wanted to be the leader of the pack, the boss of the herd, and he was never as relaxed as he should be with the string in the normal collecting ring. So we just developed this system of putting him in the shed with his one companion and walking him there for half an hour before he went out. And then he was quite content and settled and relaxed in himself. Since I had Sindar, I just don't take those good horses out with the string.
Having wintered well, See the Stars' preparation for the first European Classic of the season was surprisingly interrupted.
He was due to work on the 17th of March and had a temperature of 103. Couldn't believe it, you know, it was just out of the blue. Nothing else had a temperature like that. Around that time we found out it was a viral infection. And from the time he got the temperature, the time he started fast work again was 2.5 weeks, which is the sort of absolute minimum that I thought he could return to fast work in. But it was extraordinary the way he recovered from it. As soon as he started work again, it was still back to the old form again. You know, he just bounced out of it, which was because of his great constitution.
The 2000 Guineas, Europe's #1 mile challenge for 3-year-old colts, across the undulating Newmarket Straight on the first Saturday in May.
He jumped, but he was paying more attention to the start of dropping his flag than the rest of the field. So I just had to gather his thoughts and get him into a nice position, which he did very quickly.
The big bay colt still had a bit of boyishness to his looks, but the race turned him into an eye-filling, classic-winning man of a horse.
I was travelling beautifully. My only worry with him was just going down, would I get a little flat-footed running into the dip? I knew that if I was in touch, once we hit the rising ground, then I was going to come out on top.
See the Stars now charging on the right. Delegator is unleashed on the left by Spencer. These three battling on from Master Craftsman, Ganaras and Rip Van Winkle. They race towards the final furlong. Delegator and See the Stars. Evasive is third, then Ganaras. Rip Van Winkle stays on well inside the final furlong. See the Stars on the near side for Mick Cannan from Delegator, and See the Stars wins a 4th Guineas for Mick Cannan.
The colt has barely pulled up to a trot before the television audience is told of his ante-post price for the Derby. His favourite, of course.
He's certainly a very good colt because he got a mile well at 2. You know he's going to get at least a mile and a quarter, and to think he had a setback, he could be something.
You've got this mile Guineas win under his belt, because this horse, he's going to go on, he's going to go further.
Well, everybody was saying, you know, he's a Derby horse, thinking he's a half-brother to Galileo, but, you know, he is by Cape Cross. He was showing us a lot of speed, and you can see now why I didn't want to miss a Guineas with him, you know. He's a terrific horse.
He's done it like a horse with a huge future.
For the owner and trainer, the future was about to get very tense indeed. And then, something happened to relieve some of the pressure. An undefeated Ballydoyle colt, Fame and Glory, won what's become the most reliable Derby trial of them all, and was now the new Derby favourite. Owners and trainers alike dream of winning the Derby, one of racing's oldest and most highly prized classics. Generations of British monarchs have attended Epsom to witness firsthand the sport of kings. It was no wonder Team See the Stars were looking anxious under their top hats.
John Ox, just watching his horse. Johnny looks to be behaving extremely well. He's taking it all in, See the Stars.
Ah, yes, he's very relaxed and content, you know, he's as he was at Newmarket, so far so good. He's got a long canter down, and obviously they all get a bit warm as they get near the start, but he's very cool at the moment anyway.
And we'll find out what happens with 2 furlongs to run, won't we?
That's it, we'll find out if that little invisible brick wall is down there at the furlong pole or not, but we'll see.
OK, good luck to you.
Epsom's famous switchback course and Derby Day's 100,000 people come together to create not only a very special atmosphere, but the ultimate test of a thoroughbred's temperament and physique. The race began exactly as the experts predicted. Mick Kinnan, See the Stars' steadfast partner, measures the pace. 2 weeks short of his 50th birthday, Kinnan is the coolest of horsemen in a race tremulous with nerves. A strong pace with Fame and Glory biding his time. See the Stars, however, did his bit precisely as Ox had hoped.
They race inside the 2 furlong, and it's Golden Sword clear. Here's See the Stars called on for an effort. Down the outside, Fame and Glory. It's now See the Stars, who takes it up with a furlong to go. He goes a length up now, trying hard, Fame and Glory for Golden Sword and Rip Van Winkle. But See the Stars is going to win the Guineas and Derby double.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highnesses, my lords and ladies and gentlemen, what a race, what a ride, what a result. This is the new superstar, See the Stars.
In that hallowed Epsom winners' enclosure, Christopher Choi had never stood so tall. All Too Beautiful's defeat by Ouija board sensationally avenged. Galileo's Derby brilliantly emulated. For Urban Sea, by now sadly passed away, yet another indelible mark in racing's record books.
Alongside me, John Ox, the trainer of this horse, and I remember talking to you, John, a few weeks ago. You said from the moment he walked into your yard, you knew he was special.
Yes, I mean, you know, he had a magnificent presence about him. He was a beautiful yearling when I went to see him before he came, and he just had everything, you know, and when we were breaking him as a yearling, you know, he just did everything right. They took no breaking, you know, so intelligent, everything right from the word go, everything was right. And he's never let us down, you know, all the way up. Of course, it's, you know, as you know well, some horses look the business and then they let you down, but this fella's never let us down. He's gone right up to the very top of the ladder.
When this horse came around last May, I couldn't believe my luck. Being regally bred as he was, had the physique and had the attitude to be a great horse. He's just given me a new lease of life, and it's a pleasure to be around him.
Well, Christopher Choi and his family have bred this horse as well as owning him. This moment for you, how good is it?
It's just unbelievable. I mean, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I don't really know what to think.
You must be one of the youngest winning owners. How old are you?
I'm 27.
And your parents had been very heavily involved. They owned the Dam Urban Sea. Did they get you into the racing game?
Yes, very early in my life, actually. When I was 10, 11, I was already going to the races with my trainer, Mr. Les Vaught, who's here today. And we are just so happy. It's just unbelievable.
For the See the Stars team, this was a day of purest pleasure.
To have a Guineas and a Derby winner was, you know, was a dream come true. You know, it was a really significant thing to win the two. I thought it was probably, in many ways, his most spectacular win.
Over the coming days, a calmly credible plan was made for the rest of the season. It would be the Irish Derby next, then the Irish Champion Stakes, then Urban Seas Race, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. The Breeders' Cup? Maybe, not ruled out at least, since a wet Parisian autumn might make the Arc too testing for the light-actioned Wonder Horse. When rain ruled out the Irish Derby, See the Stars was redirected to Sandow for the Eclipse Stakes. 1.25 miles over good ground, ideal for a horse of his gifts. Perhaps surprisingly, in a race that often disintegrates into a small field, See the Stars did not scare off the opposition. He was confronted by several high achievers, among them future winners of the Sussex Stakes, the King George, the Breeders' Cup Turf and the Champion Stakes, all major international races.
The 2009 Coral Eclipse, and away they go.
The Ballydoyle pacemaker set sail, set the race up for a thrilling finale.
See the Stars chased now by Rip Van Winkle, and here's Conduit the Stayer out wide under Ryan Moore unleashing his run. See the Stars will have to dig in. Rip Van Winkle, his old rival, is closing up on the Guineas and Derby winner inside the final furlong. See the Stars by half a length to Rip Van Winkle. He's beating off Rip Van Winkle. They race up to the line. See the Stars, this shining star. See the Stars wins the Eclipse.
See the Stars looked Rip Van Winkle in the eye, then saw him off with ferocious speed. The time was the fastest in 40 years, and the winning margin was a length. Christopher, wearing his iPod headphones, was totally overcome in the euphoria of victory.
The way the race unfolded, it almost forced your hand to commit when you did.
It did. You know, I was hoping to be getting to the front of the furlong mark because I knew he quickens really well and he does this when he gets there, you know. But I was travelling so well, I couldn't come back out of it from there, you know.
You don't get many like him, do you? A mile and a quarter, and a mile and a half.
No, he has so much early pace, is unbelievable, and he has the temperament to go with it, and there's nothing phases him.
One of the best you've ridden?
Undoubtedly, yeah.
Well done.
Joy said to me after the Eclipse Stakes, she said, you know, this horse has done everything and more than we could have asked of him, but he's not racing for us anymore. We can take it if he misses a race or he loses a race, but, you know, what will the public, how will they feel? He's performing now for a wider public, she said.
With the possibility of an inopportune cloudburst threatening to wreck his race programme at any moment, Ox chose to pick off big race opportunities as they arose. The next target would be York for the Juddmonte International.
Mick said to me that if you were designing a race course for See the Stars, you would design York. He said it was the most perfect race course to suit the horse.
7 o'clock this morning on the Knavesmire, See the Stars moseying quietly round the paddock. The start of a long and important day. Now 8 hours later, making his way over across the Knavesmire for the Juddmonte International.
Ranged against him this time, another Ballydoyle star, the multiple Group 1 winner, Master Craftsman, a horse known for his dashing brilliance.
Well, owner Christopher Choi joins me now, of course, of See the Stars. How are you feeling?
Quite nervous, yeah, but everything's fine. I mean, it's a great day here, so let's hope all goes well.
How do you think it's going to unfold? What are your fears?
I'm not sure, obviously, about the tactics being employed, but let's hope they run a fair race, and let's hope the best horse wins.
Away they go. for the 2009 Juddmonte International. Stars comes through between them as well and is absolutely cantering. Murta gets to work. He says go on Master Craftsman. Can he shake off See the Stars? Mick Cannan begins to push away in second place on the Derby winner. There's a length and a half between them. They race down to the final furlong. Master Craftsman, See the Stars now challenging on the near side. The gap down to half a length. And neck, See the Stars beginning to get up on the near side. Oh, every inch a champion and a fabulous four-timer. See the Stars wins the Juddmonte International.
Some look at this race and see Mick Cannan feel for his whip in a moment of panic. Others can't quite get over the majestic ease with which See the Stars loomed up behind the leaders, the bare-faced cheek as he is steered between rivals, before racing to the lead. A heart-in-mouth moment that showed what a willing horse See the Stars is, willing to win his race just exactly when and how he's asked to.
It feels great. It feels like he performed really well. And I heard that he broke the course record, so that's a plus.
Ballydoyle muttered their admiration, but said ominously that they still had fame and glory back at home.
We were delighted with him after York. We'd only had 18 days, but he really came out of York very well. We kept him up into his routine, and he had a nice preparation for Leopardstown. We had a great stroke of luck that just Leopardstown didn't get the rain that was falling everywhere around them.
The horse who started favourite for the Derby and had since cantered away with the Irish equivalent had his chance against the champ in the Irish Champion Stakes.
Eight is the star of the show, See the Stars, and sure, what more can you say about him? He looks well, he's behaved himself well, walks around there like a trooper. John Hines, who's been looking after him, walking around with him there, and Jeff on the left, he looks to be taking everything in his stride. I hope the race works out well for him.
The race was set up in familiar fashion.
Racing towards the 5 furlong marker, which is the halfway point, and set sail in Rockhampton. They remain clear from Master Craftsman, Grand Ducal. See the Stars in 5th. He's a good dozen lengths off the lead.
And it was won in fantastic fashion.
And it's Fame and Glory who goes to the front now. From Master Craftsman on the outside is See the Stars. And they've gone away from Lord Admiral as they race with a furlong and a half to go. And See the Stars comes on the outside of Fame and Glory. As they race towards the final furlong, See the Stars takes it up from Fame and Glory in second. Master Craftsman in third. The big three have run right away from Grand Ducal. But See the Stars, the champion he is, strides to glory, further glory in the Irish Champion Stakes, and wins it handsomely.
See the Stars outsprinted the speed horses and outstayed the stayers. Many reckon it was the performance of his life, up against the best in a race run to suit his rivals.
We wanted to give the home fans a chance to see him, and to do so in the manner he did was great, and he got a fantastic ovation.
See the Star is a perfect horse. He has the same mind of his mother. He has the humility of the champion. For me, he's the best horse.
It's a fairy tale, 5 Group 1s, the 2,000 guineas, the Derby, the Eclipse, the Juddmonte, and now the Irish Champion Stakes. And the reception he got from the Irish crowd, it was absolutely fantastic. And it's great for the Choi family because they put so much into it. Ling has been a friend of mine for a number of years. We speak so much. She's a superstar. And then Christopher, whom we've got to know in the last 6 months, particularly, we had met him before that. He's such a nice person, and they deserve a horse of this caliber.
Ling Choi is, for me, the best woman I met in the world.
By now, See the Stars was making spines tingle beyond the race-watching public. He was fast becoming a great sporting hero. The Arc de Triomphe was to be not just his last test, but his ultimate test. There were all sorts of reasons why victory should elude him. A long season, a large field of the finest equine talent around, the 1.5 mile distance, this time run at a more testing gallop than at Epsom. And the greatest opposition of all, history. No horse had ever before won all the races See the Stars had, and taken in the Arc. In the modern age, winning the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe has become the most treasured of racing's triumphs, perhaps even more highly prized than the Epsom Derby. Great horses have won both, among them the brilliant Seabird and the immensely talented Mill Reef. And yet, it's their Arc wins that are used to quantify their excellence. Other stars, denied at Epsom, have sought and found redemption at Longchamp, most spectacularly, Dancing Brave. But Europe's greatest horse race is more than just 2.5 minutes of equine-induced adrenaline. Arc Day has become one of the most thrillingly enjoyable days of sport in the world. Part fashion parade, part lunch party, with lots of good-humoured chat on the lawns and in the vast Parisian grandstands. For See the Stars' owner, Christopher Choi, Arc Day 2009 was always going to be an emotional occasion. And for John Ox and his team, expectations had never been higher.
He's always been very well behaved at the races and very relaxed, and that we were, a bit concerned about all this extra attention. There was a fear that it would place him at a disadvantage, but it was difficult to avoid it in Longchamp, and that's why I saddled him in the stable yard and brought him directly into the ring.
Under the watchful eye of thousands of spectators, See the Stars strode into the paddock like a gladiator readying for battle. From his position far beneath the autumnal trees, Christopher keeps a close eye on his champion. The competition is both talented and capable. Conduit has a great chance, as does the unbeaten Stasalita and the mighty German Getaway. Jumzane, runner-up in the Arc twice before, and top French horses Cavalryman and Vision d'Etat. And lastly, Fame and Glory, trying once again to live up to his name. To the tens of thousands in the stands, desperate to witness a moment of sporting legend,
They're off and running in the Arc.
the race evolved into an unforgettable blur of emotions.
See the Stars, he's got 6 or 7 lengths to make up. He'll have to be a champion. Stasalita races into the lead now. 2 in front, he is a champion, I reckon. He's got the run now in the centre. He's out after the leader. He picks up Stasalita. He powers clear. See the Stars racing away. Perfection in equine form. A horse of a lifetime.
Witnessing the greatest of horses, winning the greatest of races in the greatest of ways. Christopher Choi's bay colt now belonged to all those who shared in that one moment. Through their smiles and misting eyes, the Choys had another, still deeper connection. This was, of course, the very race that 16 years before had started it all. The Arc of 1993, the pulsating victory of Urban Sea against the odds. Now, with the trees of the Bois de Boulogne that little bit taller, the same great contest was bringing an epic racing story to the most rousing of conclusions. An equine family and a human family brought together down the ages in triumph. Ling Choi and her son, Urban Sea and hers. The circle of life played out on Longchamp's lush oval. What could be more perfect?
Today was just the best day in my life. I mean, there's no word to describe what I'm feeling right now. And to perform the way he did was just unbelievable. This race it's the race that started everything for us. I mean, the Urban Sea winning this 16 years ago, it's what started this whole story. To win it twice now, it's incredible. Now, See the Stars has established himself as really the best horse in the world. I really do hope that Urban Sea's legacy keeps going on for many years to come.
The world's media broadened the crowd of thousands into an audience of millions who were hearing all about this four-legged marvel, this imperious talent.
He is just a 1 in a million racehorse, and only a horse like that can actually deliver all those performances, one a month for 6 months. He's just a remarkable athlete.
Was this to be his crowning glory, or was there yet another challenge to be faced? Unbeaten in Europe, Christopher Choi was debating a run in America. A swan song in California was considered, but the final decision would be for See the Stars to retire to stud. He strode out of Carabeg stables for the last time, not knowing he was leaving behind the people whose lives he had touched and no doubt changed forever. See the Stars made the short journey from the Curragh to the Aga Khan's historic Giltown stud. This 17th century Anglo-Irish estate will nurture See the Stars as he embarks on the next chapter in an already unprecedented career. A new life as a stallion, alongside fellow Arc hero Dalakani and Carabeg graduate Azamor. For John Ox, Christopher Choi and all who shared in this remarkable story, it would be a bittersweet farewell. At all stops along the way, there have been talented horsemen and women, crafting and cultivating See the Stars into the very best he could be. An inspired team who nurtured his raw potential into the ultimate four-legged racing machine, an equine wonder.
Just seeing See the Stars won the Derby was the greatest feeling in my life, ever, and ever likely to be.
For that first week, there was no one else who I wanted to ride that horse. You know, he gave me that feeling where, you know, I wanted to be as much part of his life as I possibly could.
Some great moments, and to be able to care for a horse of his standard, like, you know, I mean, to his calibre, like, you know, I mean, you know, you have to have everything perfect all the time, like, you know. And you learn a lot, and he's given not only to me, to the whole yard and to the whole country. Like, I get so many people coming up to me talking about him and saying, you know, what a fabulous horse he is, like, you know. When people say things like that to you, like, you know, then you know he's a superstar.
He is a fine big horse, and he's a great physique, and he's just a great athlete. For me, he's been fantastically straightforward, given what he's done all year and the work he's been through and everything. Every day palpating him all over, just seeing, assessing what was different, if there was any new tightness or how the old tightness had gone on to the next day, and just dealing with that as it came up all year. He's been amazing.
Brilliant, absolutely. It's just, you know, as I said, to be involved in the horse, you know, it's just fantastic.
You know, it's great memories. Great memories.
Privileged, probably the only person that has been with him for these full 9 races, like, you know. Every race, it just got better. This is every travelling head lad's job dream to be involved with such a horse. It'll never happen to us again.
I think he's happy. I happy too, you know. Good company, you know. Good friend, my, you know. Yeah. He's a walk very relaxed, you know, good relax, and they gallop different horse, you know, machine. For me, he's perfect, you know. He's perfect.
You can see on Christopher's face the joy he's getting from the horse, which is great, you know, and the wider public. I mean, I've never seen people stand outside a stable there from early morning to late evening just to get a glimpse of a horse. You realise he's something special.
I've ridden great ones, I've ridden champions, but I've never ridden a horse that can do what this horse done consistently over any trip. I always feel he can do anything.
It just makes you very proud of the horse, and you know, very proud of all the work that all the lads have done and everybody has done. He's just a remarkable horse, and you do have to pinch yourself sometimes, you know, that gosh, we actually have that horse, you know, and he's up there with the greats of thoroughbred history.
With so many dominating performances behind him, it was little wonder that See the Stars on the official World Thoroughbred rankings went on to pick up just about every award worth having in the close season. Horse of the Year accolades at the Racehorse Owners Association Awards and at the Horse Racing Ireland Awards. Further acknowledgement came at the glittering Cartier Awards held at Claridge's Hotel in London, where John Ox was honoured with the coveted Award of Merit.
Of course, I wouldn't be here without See the Stars and without the Choi family and Christopher and his mother, who sent such a great horse to me, and you know, we owe him everything.
And to Christopher Choi's utter delight, See the Stars was awarded Champion 3-year-old Colt and Horse of the Year.
See the Stars was born from a mother's love and belief in urbancy. I truly believe that See the Stars was on a mission this year to honor his mother, and winning the Arc was the greatest tribute to her, to complete a circle that started 16 years ago. See the Stars is the triumph of 2 very special ladies, and 2009 will stay in my memory as the best year of my life. Thank you very much.
But although See the Stars is a horse who ignites emotion in so many, and has passed to some extent into public ownership, he commands a transformative, life-changing power over the man whose silks his jockey wears, Christopher Choi. Right from the very beginning, his early triumphs, the first win, on the gallops at home, lovingly tended back at the stables, at the breaking yard, as a foal with his dam, the great urban sea. The idea for breeding him in a blinding moment of clarity, and with the great winds of his mother. Perhaps it was all written in the stars.
White flag is raised, and they're off.
Double X popped away smartly in the centre. Also Driving Snow is right up. Thomas Antida towards the inside, moves right up to dispute, and also prominent is Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean, Thomas Antida, Double X, and just tacking over is Black Bear Island. These are being followed towards the outside by Partner, and just in behind them is See the Stars, with towards the outside of the leading group is Conry as they straighten up now and race on with less than 5 to go. Thomas Antida, Kevin Manning on the near side of Indian Ocean, on the inside Colm O'Donoghue. Black Bear Island and Conry, Double X just in behind. Also close up just behind the leaders, Partner. And they're being followed by Dagger's Bond, who sits in about 6th, and then Driving Snow with just after them is Curl Cat. Towards the outside, Lieberman. They pass the junction now of the tracks with less than 3 to go. Thomas Antida and Indian Ocean, these two disputing the lead, being followed by Double X, and then Black Bear Island towards the near side, Driving Snow. See the Stars towards the inside, and just after them trying to improve is Fremantle. They're racing now with just over a furlong to go. Thomas Antida from Black Bear Island. On the near side is Driving Snow. Black Bear Island in the centre now just hits the front. Driving Snow the near side. Thomas Antida, then Fremantle racing inside the last 50 yards. Driving Snow on the near side as they go towards the line. Driving Snow on the near side.
And they're off. And Sir Garfield Sober's a little bit slower than the main group. Also slow to stride was Gracchus, and missing the kick was the Bull Hayes. So in the early stages, Ali Aswa has tacked over to lead. See the Stars. Positive Event is close up on the outside. They're a couple of lengths in front into the far turn of Vocalized. And then comes Black Humour with Bangalore Gold towards the inside. Beginning now to make the run across the bottom of the track, where Eliaswa leads by 2.5 lengths. Two in second place, Positive Event. See the Stars, and they're followed by Vocalized with Bangalore Gold and Dark Humour. And then a break of 3 lengths further back to Calm Bay, who's being followed on the run towards the approach to the straight by the Bull Hayes. But it's Ali Aswa and Declan McDonough who lead them towards the straight, being followed by See the Stars. Then comes Positive Event, Vocalized just in behind them. Couple of lengths to Black Humour, who's followed by Bangalore Gold, and then the Bull Hayes, and after them is Calm Bay. But into the straight now, beginning the run towards the final furlong, and coming there in the centre, See the Stars and Michael Canaan to head Ali Aswa. They're being followed in third place by Black Humour. Tracking them comes Vocalized as they race now towards the final 200 yards. It's See the Stars, who's a couple of lengths in front of in second place Dark Humour, and then staying on towards the outside the Bull Hayes. But up towards the finish, See the Stars is going to win it readily in the end for Michael Canaan. And they're off. Very level breaks. Sawtooth Mountain in the centre, showing just in the lead, with on the outside Moraine. They race on about 3 lengths clear of See the Stars with Recharge on the outside. And they're being followed by Hail Caesar on the inside with Master of the Horse as they make the run across the top of the track. Where going along in the lead is Sawtooth Mountain, followed in second place by Moraine. They're being followed 2 lengths further back by See the Stars, who's towards the inside of Recharge. And then following them, Hail Caesar and Master of the Horse as they race downhill now to the halfway point, beginning the descent for the approach to the straight. Where going along in front is Sawtooth Mountain and Pat Smullen, being tracked by Murray and Fran Berry. Then comes See the Stars, Michael Canaan on the inside of Recharge. Chris Hayes with Hail Caesar, Shamie Heffernan, and Master of the Horse, Johnny Murtha. As they approach the turn in now, they've got just over 3 to go. Sawtooth Mountain in front, followed by Moraine. Then comes Recharge with on the inside See the Stars, Master of the Horse, and Hail Caesar. Straightening up for home now, 2.5 to go. And it's Sawtooth Mountain now being taken on by Moraine. Recharge and See the Stars comes next. Then Master of the Horse in the centre of the track. They race down to the final furlong now. It's Moraine over on the far side from See the Stars. Recharge, and on the outside Master of the Horse. Inside the last 100 yards now. Moraine pressed by See the Stars on the outside. Master of the Horse between them. Recharge. It is See the Stars now who's just the leader as they go towards the line. See the Stars wins it for Michael Canaan.
lined up, and away they go. And leaving the stalls, See the Stars not all that well away on the near side. Ganaras is one of the early leaders. Evasive is allowed to stride forward by Ryan Moore in the blue jacket, in the red jacket. On the blue on the near side, Ocean's Minstrel with See the Stars, Black Cat, Finjan, far side Ugbar just behind Ganaras, then Master Craftsman, Cityscape towards the centre with Monitor closely, and then Rip Van Winkle. Ashram chases the leaders towards the near side in the blue of Godolphin, Frankie Dettori. Towards the rear, Imperial Guest, Pure Poetry is also out the back at this stage. Looking towards the far side, Delegator about halfway through the field. Towards the left now, chasing Ukbar in that blue and white striped cap. It's Evasive that shows them the way just. Ocean's Minstrel on the right, Finjan between the pair. Then Ganaras, further left then is Ukbar from Master Craftsman. Rip Van Winkle in the dark blue jacket. See the Stars on the right, chased by Lord Shannakill, Cityscape, Delegator patiently ridden. Then Ashram, Pure Poetry, Monitor closely. See the Stars away to the extreme right now, beginning to come with a bit of a run as they head down inside the last 2.5 furlongs. An open-looking race. Evasive just spearheads them. See the Stars now charging on the right. Delegator is unleashed on the left by Spencer. These three battling on from Master Craftsman, Ganaras and Rip Van Winkle. They race towards the final furlong. Delegator and See the Stars. Evasive is third, then Ganaras. Rip Van Winkle stays on well inside the final furlong. See the Stars on the near side for Mick Cannan from Delegator, and See the Stars wins a 4th guineas for Mick Cannan.
Off and running in the 2009 Derby, an Age of Aquarius down near the inside was one of the first away. Gone Arrows got away smartly. Golden Sword going very fast in the early stages. Kite Wood is up there as well. Further back, Fame and Glory settling about 5th from Debussy, and then Black Bear Island. But Golden Sword is the early leader. From Kite Wood up in 2nd, then in 3rd is Age of Aquarius. His big white face, pink cap on the outside. Gone Arrows is taken up 4th, just behind them the white jacket. Followed by See the Stars. Mick Cannan settles 5th on the inner, followed by Montaf. Further back in the field then is Fame and Glory, Debussy. They're followed by Rip Van Winkle, who's well back with Black Bear Island and Crowded House as they go through the first 3 furlongs. And the leader is Golden Sword by 2 lengths to Age of Aquarius. The 2 Aidan O'Brien face setters out there, blazing the trail by 4 lengths to Kitewood. Montaf is up on the outside. See the Stars, the yellow jacket. Gonaris is just behind him. They're followed by Fame and Glory, Debussy, Rip Van Winkle. Then on the inside next, the pink jacket of Black Bear Island from Crowded House. And last is Master of the Horse, who's being weighted with by Richard Hughes. As they reach the highest point of the course now, 6.5 furlongs left to go in the Derby. And Golden Sword, the Chester Vase winner, is blazing the trail by 2 lengths to the Lingfield Derby trial winner, Age of Aquarius. 4 or 5 lengths away is Godolphin's Kitewood up on the outside. Mick Cannan has See the Stars in a beautiful 4th on the rail. Next is Montaf, followed then by Fame and Glory. The green jacket of Debussy, the inside. They're followed then by Gonaris, the outer, in the white jacket. Then Rip Van Winkle, who's travelling kindly as they race downhill past the 5 in the Derby. Further back in the field, then out wider, is Crowded House, about 3rd last, in company with Black Bear Island, and also starting to make some ground now as Master of the Horse. Coming around Tattenham Corner now, and on the inside, Golden Sword is the leader from in 2nd, Age of Aquarius. They've gone 4 lengths in front of Kitewood. See the Stars is travelling very smoothly for Mick Cannan. Then behind them, Fame and Glory, Debussy, and further back in the field, battling on then is Rip Van Winkle, and Crowded House taken to the outside. Golden Sword, though, is the one to catch. They race inside the 2 furlong, and it's Golden Sword clear. Here's See the Stars called on for an effort. Down the outside, Fame and Glory. It's now See the Stars who takes it up with a furlong to go. He goes a length up now, trying hard. Fame and Glory for Golden Sword and Rip Van Winkle, but See the Stars is going to win the Guineas and Derby double.
The 2009 Coral Eclipse, and away they go. Rip Van Winkle just the last to leave the stalls. Lang Shining pressing on, set sail, as well as Malibu Bay. The pacemakers are 1, 2 and 3. See the Stars sits in 4th. The yellow jacket Mick Cannan. Steel Tango's out wide of Jukebox Jury, followed by Twice Over and Rip Van Winkle. Then Sema de Triomphe, and Conduit is at the rear of the field, and it's Conduit's stable companion Lang Shining in the hands of Richard Hughes that sets a pretty fast pace in the early stages, followed by one of the two Ballydoyle pacemakers, Set Sail in second. They've probably gone off too quickly. The others are languishing behind. Back in third is Malibu Bay, about 6 lengths off the front pair. Steel Tango is fourth, followed by the Guineas and Derby winner See the Stars in fifth place. Then Jukebox Jury towards the outside then of Rip Van Winkle in the dark blue, the pink cap of Twice Over. Seema de Triomphe is second last, and still Ryan Moore waits at the back aboard Conduit. See the Stars having gone off the 7-4 on favourite. They're into the turn already, and it's blistering fractions from Lang Shining and Set Sail. They're 5 lengths clear of Malibu Bay. Then another 5 or 6 back to Steel Tango. See the Stars on the inside then from Jukebox Jury there. The yellow jacket See the Stars, followed by Rip Van Winkle. Jimmy Fortune in the dark blue stalking the favourite. Seema de Triomphe further back, Twice Over pushed along and Conduit, and now the pacemakers are likely to come back to the field, and they're going to start stopping in front. They're inside the 3, Lang Shining, Set Sail, Malibu Bay. The principal's pulling wide sensibly. Here comes See the Stars in the hands of Mick Cannan, and he's going to have to commit pretty early here as they run down inside the 2. See the Stars chased now by Rip Van Winkle, and here's Conduit the stayer out wide under Ryan Moore unleashing his run. See the Stars will have to dig in. Rip Van Winkle, his old rival, is closing up on the Guineas and Derby winner inside the final furlong. See the Stars by half a length to Rip Van Winkle. He's beating off Rip Van Winkle. They race up to the line. See the Stars, this shining star. See the Stars wins the Eclipse. Away they go for the 2009 Juddmonte International. Master Craftsman to the outside of the dark blue jacketed George Bernard Shaw. The white cap out wide is Set Sail, and the pacemakers go on 1 and 2. Johnny Murtagh sitting ahead of Mick Cannan. See the Stars at the back of the field in these early stages. So Mick Cannan will have them all in his sights here on the odds-on favourite as they race down the back straight here at York. And it's George Bernard Shaw setting what looks to be a pretty generous pace over Set Sail in second place. 2.5 lengths back to Master Craftsman, who's up in distance today in third. And then the Guineas, Derby and Eclipse winner See the Stars in the yellow jacket, Christopher Shaw's colours, at the back of the field, looking for this big 4-timer as they race towards the far turn. And still George Bernard Shaw and Colm O'Donoghue leading over Shamie Heffernan on Set Sail. See the Stars, the 4-1 on favourite, about 7 lengths off the leader at the moment, but apparently travelling well, as you would hope, as they race towards the final 5 furlongs. They're on the turn in here, and See the Stars remains in last place in the hands of Mick Cannan. George Bernard Shaw and Set Sail, they've set the pace. Master Craftsman lays 2.5 lengths back in third. See the Stars is just on his heels. He's just watching Murtagh's every move here, Mick Cannan. Murtagh going for a gap between his pacemakers on Master Craftsman, who's going to take it up with about just under 3 furlongs left to travel. See the Stars comes through between them as well and is absolutely cantering. Murtagh gets to work. He says go on Master Craftsman. Can he shake off See the Stars? Mick Cannan begins to push away in second place on the Derby winner. There's a length and a half between them. They race down to the final furlong. Master Craftsman, See the Stars now challenging on the near side. The gap down to half a length. And Nick, See the Stars beginning to get up on the near side. Oh, every inch a champion and a fabulous 4-timer.
Waiting for the signals given, and away they bounce. And in the early stages, Loch Long on the outside, Mr. Craftsman between them. They're followed by Set Sail, who's been bustled up to take the lead, and See the Stars is in 6th place at the moment as they race down the back straight now to complete the first furlong and a half or so, and Set Sail living up to his name and leading by 3 lengths or more to Master Craftsman, who's joined by Rockhampton, and they're followed by Grand Ducal. Behind these is Loch Long, and then comes See the Stars. Fame and Glory sitting 3 lengths off him. Casual Conquest at the back just ahead of Lord Admiral as they continue down the back straight towards the 6 furlong marker, and Rockhampton, they're going a real good gallop with Rockhampton going on now half a length up on Set Sail, 6 lengths away Master Craftsman. Grand Ducal is next, then comes Loch Long. Alongside Loch Long, See the Stars. 2.5 behind him is Fame and Glory, then Lord Admiral and Casual Conquest racing towards the 5 furlong marker, which is the halfway point, and Set Sail and Rockhampton, they remain clear from Master Craftsman. Grand Ducal, See the Stars in 5th. He's a good dozen lengths off the lead, followed by Loch Long, and behind these Fame and Glory. And then comes Lord Admiral and Casual Conquest as they leave the back straight, less than half a mile to go. Set Sail leads by 5 or 6 as Rockhampton begins to weaken. Master Craftsman is next, there followed by Grand Ducal, moving out a bit to See the Stars. Gone up on his outside is Fame and Glory. Lord Admiral Casual Conquest, and dropped to last is Loch Long as they run to the turn. It's Set Sail from Master Craftsman. Fame and Glory has moved up. See the Stars comes after him. Then Lord Admiral on the outside, then Casual Conquest, and it's Fame and Glory who goes to the front now. From Master Craftsman on the outside is See the Stars, and they've gone away from Lord Admiral as they race with a furlong and a half to go. And See the Stars comes on the outside of Fame and Glory as they race towards the final furlong. See the Stars takes it up from Fame and Glory in second, Master Craftsman in third. The big three have run right away from Grand Ducal, but See the Stars, the champion he is, strides to glory in the Irish Champion Stakes and wins it handsomely.
Stasalita. That's it, they're off and running in the arc. And away to a good start too. And on the outside, Stasalita, one of the first away. Set Sail, going very fast to the early stages. And up there too is Dare Me and Vision d'Etat. Just in behind them is See the Stars. Settles in a beautiful position, about 5th on the inside. One off the rail. Going forward now, Grand Ducal to put on pace. Further back is La Boom. And then on the outside is Cavalryman trying to get across. Further back in the field is Hume Zane, followed then by Getaway. And back there is Berestam. Conduit is right there in the centre in the light jacket. Well back in the field too in the early stages. At this stage is Hot Six, followed then by Magadan. And See the Stars has just lost a little bit of ground there as they head down the side. And as they settle fully into stride, it's Grand Ducal who's out in front by 2 lengths to Stasalita, who's got over beautifully. In third is their Conduit the outside from Dare Me in the pink jacket the inside. Berestam is further back in the field, followed then in the centre by Fame and Glory. Conduit behind them, the light jacket, then See the Stars, yellow and purple right there bang in the centre, followed then by Getaway. Back in the field too at this stage, out wide is Magadan, giving them a long start, preceded by the Bogbury La Boom. Then Hume Zane smothered up on the fence, but Set Sail with 6 furlongs to go is 4 or 5 lengths clear of the stablemate Grand Ducal. Then about 8 lengths to Stasalita, Dare Me. The outside Cavalryman has got over close, followed then by Vision d'Etat. And these leaders are getting right away from them as they pass the 1,000-metre mark, 5 furlongs from home. Further back is Berestam, followed in the centre by Fame and Glory and a nice posse. They're followed then by, back in the field at this stage, Conduit. See the Stars on the inside of runners, and about 6th of that group, that third group, followed further back in the field then by Hot Six and the Bogbury, giving them a long start. They race towards the turn in the arc, and the leaders are a long way clear. Set Sail, and also on the outside, the other one, Grand Ducal. They're about 5 in front now of Stasalita. He's getting up on the inside on See the Stars. He's got 6 or 7 lengths to make up. He'll have to be a champion. Stasalita races into the lead now. 2 in front. He is a champion, I reckon. He's got the run now in the centre. He's out after the leader. He picks up Stasalita. He powers clear. See the Stars racing away. Perfection in equine form. A horse of a lifetime. He's just going to go on and win the arc by 2 lengths.